This is KC Cares, Kansas City's nonprofit digital resource produced by Charitable Communications. We'll tell your stories about Kansas City nonprofits and the people behind them. KC Cares is proudly sponsored by the Ewing Marion Kauffman Foundation, and we are so excited to start our monthly broadcast from down here at the Kansas City Public Library, the Plaza Branch, with April Roy, who is the director.
We're so happy to have you guys here recording this great podcast in our space. There's no better place to talk about caring communities than the public library.
Well, this came together. We had worked on another project, and Bobby and I had said, we need to get out and about. So you were first on the list to say, let's go ask April if this is a possibility, because the library is so robust. You know, it's no longer just books on a shelf. So let's talk a little bit about all the things the library has to offer.
Sure. One of the things that we always love to talk about in our field of librarianship is how libraries have changed. There was so much talk when ebooks came on board and the internet that people weren't going to need libraries anymore. And libraries did really have to change to continue to be relevant in our communities. So what we've done is we've become really responsive to the needs in our community, and we've adjusted our service from just being a quiet place where you get books to being a robust center of the community. So what we do in our neighborhoods is we try to figure out what the needs are in that neighborhood. Do they need health and wellness services? Do they need internet connections? Do they need entertainment? Do they need the lifelong learning piece? And we find what those communities really need, and then we try to meet those needs.
How do you go about that as a process? That's huge.
So much of it has to do with building relationships, and one of the things that makes it easy for the library, I think, in the nonprofit world is that we have the people. We have almost 1,000 people that come to this library every day.
So every day?
We have access to people, and we can just ask them. So we form these personal relationships with community members and with community partners that are already out doing good work, and we just try to figure out how we can enhance what they're already doing, or how we can do it better, or how we can do it bigger.
So give us an example of some of the things that are going on at the library in your neighborhood here on the plaza.
Sure.
That people can take advantage of.
Sure. So one of the things that we realized as a need in Kansas City is a need for dementia-friendly programming. So we got together some really phenomenal partners, the Creativity Connection and the Alzheimer's Association Heartland chapter and the KU Alzheimer's program. And we all got together and we started talking about how we could meet this need in our community and serve folks that are experiencing dementia and their caregivers. And we have started the Dementia Friendly Kansas City movement out of the Plaza Library. We do 2 monthly programs. We do a Movies and Memories program, which is a movie viewing experience for people experiencing dementia. And we have what we call the Memory Cafe, which each month is just a fun opportunity for caregivers and the folks that they're taking care of to come to the library and learn about some of these great community organizations. We've had the Nelson Atkins Art Museum here to do programs for our seniors. We've had just all kinds of community organizations, the symphony, and they have actually been learning at the same time with our goal of really destigmatizing dementia in our community.
I would imagine that's huge, and that's probably the last place somebody would think they could walk into. It was always, you know, when you walk in the door, it's shh, don't talk, and this is a busy place. There's sound going on.
Well, as you can tell, we're here doing this podcast right here in the middle of the library. In an old-fashioned library, that probably wouldn't happen, but we're really not a quiet place anymore. We really have evolved and become a place for people to gather and meet and network and work together, which is so important to community service.
Now, you've had some exciting things happen in the last month or so with the passage of the levy.
Yes, that was so huge, and I just want to say thank you to Kansas City. Thank you, City, for supporting your public library. We're moving into planning and plotting what we're going to do with some of the extra revenue that levy increase will generate. We're going to see increases in library hours. We're going to see increases in library services and programs. We already are doing a lot, but there's always so much more you can do. So we are really excited. In addition, some of of the changes, if you come visit us here at the Plaza Library, you'll know that it's our summer reading program, which is one of our busiest times of the year.
There's lots of kids around.
There's still time to sign up if you want to earn some cool prizes reading books this summer for all ages, babies through senior citizens. We've got prizes for everyone. We also just got a new automated material handling system, which is a big name for an automatic book sorter that checks in people's books.
That's got to be huge for you and your staff.
It has changed our entire workflow, but also made us more accurate and made us quicker in getting those materials checked back in and back on the shelves. So those things are really excited. But the biggest thing, you guys might, we have a giant poster behind us. You can't see if you're just listening, but no more late fines. That is a huge deal. We're one of the first libraries in the metro to go fine free. So now if you check out materials and for some reason you can't make it to the library right on that due date, you can keep your dime. We're good. It also increases equity. It makes it so that everyone can use the library and people don't have to worry about being a couple days late.
Is there any concern with that, though, that some things may not reappear if there's no punishment, in the game?
So if you keep your materials too long, we're going to charge you for the cost of the material, but we'll take that charge away when you bring those materials back. So there is still some penalty if you keep your materials for a really long time. We also have systems in place to manage our collection in a very smart, statistic-driven way. So if we have a book that 14 people want to check out and it's on hold and people just aren't bringing their copies back, we'll order some more copies. So we have a close eye on all of those things.
Do you have to live in Kansas City, Missouri to check out books here or anything you've got everything on your shelves?
Yeah, we serve our entire metro area. So if you live in Missouri and Kansas, we'll be happy to give you a library card. Even if you're an out-of-towner, come on into the library. We'll get you a library card for the time that you're going to be here. We love to serve everyone that's visiting and living in our
it's a friendly
entire
place.
Community. Well, I like to think so.
I know. You let us come in here. It's a friendly place. Let's say somebody has never been to the Plaza Library. They walk in the door, they say, "Hi, tell me about this place." How would you go about that? What do you tell them?
So there's so much to say about the library. I could go on and on. Generally, I tell people, welcome, you have found the right place. Whatever you need, we can help you with. And if we can't help you with it, we can get you to the people that can. One of the things that we really pride ourselves in is really being a community resource, knowing about the services that are available in our community. We can't necessarily do everything ourselves here at the library, but we know the people that can.
We
can find the information to get people to what they need. That's really what the library has done since libraries began, and we'll continue to do that informational service, and making community connections is really important to us.
So libraries started as books. How many books are here? Do you have any idea? Do you stay up every night and count the books?
I sure don't. Our collection has changed. The nature of our collection has changed. We still have lots and lots of physical books here at the Plaza Library, no worries. But we also have a wealth of digital resources, and our digital resource statistics continue to climb and even double from what we were doing last year. So we have the free audiobooks, we have the free ebooks, we have free streaming movie and TV services. We have all of those things that so many people are paying for that you can get for free with your library card.
And paid for by your tax dollars.
Paid for by your property tax dollars.
It doesn't cost you to be a member of the library.
That's exactly right.
Even if your book is late now.
Yeah, that's
doesn't
exactly
cost
right.
you anymore.
We say free and open to everyone. That's really what we do. All of our programming here, free and open to everyone. Checking out books, free and open to everyone. Checking out media items, free and open to everyone.
Plus, you were telling me earlier that you have people who can help you figure things out. We were talking about how to read a QR code, which we'll talk about a little later when we're with the Kansas City Art Institute. But somebody here can show me and tell me how to do that?
So in addition to our incredibly knowledgeable staff here at the Plaza Library, who's happy to help with all kinds of technology issues, we do have a team of volunteers that we call our tech coaches. And these volunteers have office hours, regular hours here at the library. If you want to look that up, you can always go to kclibrary.org to find all that information. You can make an appointment or drop in when they have their open hours. Our tech coaches are amazing people that are working in technology fields all over our community that just want to give something back. So they come, they'll clean your computer, they'll do services
I like that.
To make your speeds faster. They'll help you use your new devices. They'll teach you how to use your Kindle. All of those things. They're really hands-on, and that is an amazing service that we offer here.
You've got some programming just in the next couple of months that's just so interesting. You've got an event on July 23rd, Deep River. Tell us about that and maybe build on that.
So we're always doing so many programs here at the library, and we have a lot of different people in the library working to do different programs. We have the large lecture series that our public affairs department comes and they'll do in our space. We have homegrown children's programs going on all the time with our story times and with our STEAM Saturdays, and we do fun events every Friday night for families. So every Friday night at the library there's something fun going on, in addition to regular book clubs, the dementia-friendly services that I mentioned before. So you'll just find we have also a whole lineup of teen programming, teen volunteer opportunities, and leadership development opportunities for teens here at the library. So we have something going on almost all the time for all ages.
You know, who would think that the library is the place that you would go for those? You've been with the system for a little while.
Almost 15 years.
You were 10 when you started.
Exactly.
What are the observations of how things have changed?
I think in the 15 years that I've been working in public libraries, one of the biggest changes that I've noticed is that responsiveness to the community that I was mentioning before. Before we were more about books and we were much more traditional, and I think that libraries today are more willing to take on controversial things that people might want information about. We're more celebratory now. We're a little louder now, which is exciting for me. But I think we've just become much more open to ideas and open to trying new things.
So if someone comes down here, can you take a tour? Because in walking around finding the perfect spot to do our first podcast, there's so many neat, cool spaces and things going on.
Sure, we always love to show people around our library. We love to tell them about what's going on. And again, we love to talk about how libraries have changed, how we don't fit into a stereotype of the, bun-wearing librarian anymore.
Marion the librarian.
We're just not that way. So we just encourage people, if you haven't been to the library for a while, take a look, see what we have going on, and come in and visit us to just see how amazing our Kansas City Public Library facilities are and all of the great things that we have going on.
You had mentioned that you do public programming and you work with groups. Do groups come to you? Do you reach out to groups? How does that part of the picture, play out?
It sort of works both ways. I often get approached by organizations. We're really lucky in Kansas City to have a great reputation for our libraries. People want to come and be in our space. So I often get phone calls from organizations asking how we can partner and do things together, because a lot of our nonprofit organizations especially are trying to reach the people. And like I mentioned before, we have access to the people. So we love to partner to spread the word about the great things going on in Kansas City. But we'll also reach out to organizations. If we notice a community need, we'll try to find someone to meet that need.
And you mentioned too, volunteers. Can people come and volunteer? And what do they get to do?
Sure. We utilize some really great volunteers here at the library who help us with all kinds of projects. There's a lot of maintenance that goes into housing all of these books here at the library, and to making sure people's books that they have on hold get in the right place so they can find them. So we have volunteers that do everything from helping to prepare storytime materials and cleaning the toys that we use for our baby story time, to shelving books and shelf reading to make sure the books are in the right place. So we have a just wide variety of things that we can utilize volunteers for.
What's the best way for them to connect and say, hey, I want to help?
Sure, just go to our website, kclibrary.org. We have a whole section for volunteers and a great little volunteer application that you can fill out. If you're not connected, just come on in and talk to us.
How do you choose what goes on the shelf? I've always wondered that. Is there somebody in the back reading stacks and stacks of books and say, yes, no, maybe?
So we have, I have to say, one of the best collection management departments of any library that I know of, and they are so on top of things. Our collection is really demand driven. We try to get the things that our patrons want to read, the things that our patrons request, but we also have just stacks of trade journals, review sources. We know what's coming out, and we actually get those things ordered pretty far before they actually even come out. So when they do come out, they're here on our shelves for everyone to use. They use a lot of statistics. They request a lot of things that people are putting on hold. They're just really, really on the ball, and we have an amazing collection here at the Kansas City Public Library.
So if somebody comes in and says, I want to read that next great novel by someone, leave it. Put it down. Somebody will see that request, right?
Absolutely. And we have a whole section on our website that's a patron request for purchase. So if there's something that we don't have that you want to read, you can always request it for purchase. And we also participate in interlibrary loans. So we're connected to libraries all across the country to try to get the materials that people need.
That's terrific.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're so excited to begin this partnership. It was great to kick it off with you. And in the coming months when we come down, we'll share some of the latest news, things going on. So we're so grateful for the partnership. Thank you, April.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being here in our great space and for bringing this wonderful podcast to our community.
We'll be back after this.